Oh, that's great. It's so funny. I had a lovely lab story similar to yours. I was working in a microbiology lab that was dealing with really complicated cell trafficking. So, like what's going inside of the cell and coming out of the cell. It
Yeah,
was so hard to see where that was relevant, but it would have been later. It's like
yeah,
interactions
yeah,
of like Roby, protein. It
totally.
was so funny.
Oh,
So yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, where's the relevance of this? And then I slingshot myself into like a neuro lab, but then, that was kind of the
yeah.
same idea. I'm studying rat brains or something and, neural networks in rat brains. I was like, it'll eventually have some human applications, but maybe not because rat brains are different than human brains in a lot of ways. We're pretty complicated.
True, very true. And
So
on one hand, like it was so exciting to be on the very cutting edge of those discoveries, right? Where you're
sure.
like, we're asking these questions because we don't know, right? It's literally like, does this protein complex, when we have this, exogenous DNA damage, the complex that comes together, what other proteins are they recruiting to the area that's part of this? Right. And we're just like, then again, this was early 2000s. We did not know. So it was super exciting in this very academic, deeply boring way, right? Where you're like, no one knows this. And then you get results and you're like, this is incredible, right? That we have, yes, like this protein interaction does occur. And we finally have the Western blot. And incidentally, in this one lab I was in, I was handed this total shot in the dark project because I was the brand new undergrad, right? Who again had no idea what was going on, but was excited to be there. I had enthusiasm. I did not have skills, and the skills came. So they gave me this project that was just like, this is never going to work. It worked, and we published on it, and
Wow.
it turned out to be pretty exciting. And it's kind of funny. I still get little notices from like academia.edu, or it's like,
Oh yeah, the
your paper
citation.
has been cited. I was a minor author on it, but I was the hands that pulled that first Western blot, and it was cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I have a
You're
few of
also like,
those. They're so
right? You're like,
obscure.
yes, yes. And you're like, but maybe getting one exciting result every like 5 to 7 years, I can't make a career out of doing this. Like the rest of the time is drudgery. And I also found out from my lab manager at that time, our lab, I haven't been in the lab for so long. It was very male heavy. There were very few females in the lab. And so that was kind of a tough environment for me. I went to all girls Catholic boarding school for high school. So I was used to this very strong female environment. So it was kind of surprising. The lab was my first real exposure to this idea that maybe women can't think as critically as men. And I was shocked, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that also inspired me to get out of there. But I also learned that we were spending as much per week in that lab on plastic disposable materials as we were my salary. And there
Wow.
was no hope of me getting a raise. This is
Oh my gosh. Yes. The waste.
you couldn't demoralize me anymore, right? And I'm an environmentalist, like, and you can't recycle these things because they're all biohazard. So it's a lot. Mhm.
Yeah, no doubt. I can imagine. So, well, thank you for sharing. This is really interesting.